The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are brave, but you children are way more braver for sitting through that scary Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Halloween special. Let's give it up for every kid at Kids Class. We got a lot of guests here tonight. We're going to bring out Ciro Neely, the executive producer of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We got Eric Bauza here somewhere. We have a legendary voice director, Andrea Romano here. We got Shredder, Kevin Michael Richardson here. We got two turtles themselves. We got Seth Green and Greg Sipes.
Sometime Monday or Tuesday that we got the green light on this, and the fact that this many people showed up is kind of amazing. We do a lot of screenings. Some of these shows we make like 2 or 3 parters, and I've been having them for the crew. And I thought it'd be, hey baby claw. I thought it'd be awesome to have this last one at Halloween and to invite a bunch of children. So yeah, this is basically our last 2012 Ninja Turtles event publicly, I think. We didn't get to do New York Comic Con.
I was there and it was so boring.
I know, Nickelodeon ran out of money. Can you imagine?
It's pretty scary, man.
Yeah.
a lot of scary imagery and
I
totally murdered Dracula.
Yeah.
What time will that air?
I think it confirms Mikey and Raphael are just cold-blooded murderers.
In all fairness, never against people or anything like that.
No.
But
just
you know, fictional vampires. I think we can all
it was cool.
come out against, right? Nobody's like, go vampires. Right? Unless maybe you're watching Twilight.
Seth, you haven't seen this before, right?
This is my first time getting to see it. I really
cool,
enjoyed
right?
it.
Like, I like your, I'm actually like, I look at your jacket. Your jacket was like, in that whole thing, it's just like the nicest jacket. It's like this black velvet with this blue satin lining. And I was like, damn, Leo looks really good.
The whole motif of the turtles in this was super cool. I love when the turtles get to wear costumes or, you know, are designed around a particular theme.
I fell in love with those monsters again. Like, just I haven't watched you know, Frankenstein or Dracula in a long time, and
it's just I when I was a kid, we had Creature Double Feature, and I probably saw some of those movies, those early classic Universal monster movies, Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Bride, Mummy. When I was really young, probably like, I mean, it was always on. You'd be eating dinner and it'd be on TV, and you're probably like 4, 5, 6, and they became these perennial things that you would just watch. And then there was Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, right? And it was like, and Dracula was in that, and Wolfman and everybody. And it was like, I had always wanted to do something like that with the Ninja Turtles. And of course the Turtles, for some of you guys who know, like Turtles back like 35 years when the first wave of Turtle phenomenon hit, they actually made Turtle crossover with Universal Monster toys. So from day one, we were like talking to the toy people on the network and being like, can we ever get a Universal collaboration? And they were like, no. Because now it's not so easy, you know? But still, those characters are so ubiquitous and kind of open that it was like the time came and we literally did. I mean, for the most part, especially Mikey's jokes, this is like Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein and Wolfman and Dracula. And I thought that, you know, it'd be nice for kids in 2017 to have something like that. So in 30 years, they can scare the heck out of other small children.
And you did it, Sarah. That was awesome.
You guys did it.
We did it.
And Andrea, that was great, huh?
It was still very, very scary. And so frightened. They were really like shocking images. I forgot how scary it was.
Sorry.
And Grant, really awesome work in there. Grant's all over that.
Is there a point where you had a three-way conversation going with yourself?
Yeah, he did.
And Andre had me do them all together, but
Right.
there was no pauses.
Yeah, I gave him the option to do, you want to do all Frankenstein lines, all Dr. Frankenstein lines, all, and he said, no, let me just play the scene. So he just went from character to character to character, which was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I love Frank so much.
I like Frank.
Yeah, I do like Frank.
It's because you like hot dogs.
Vegan hot dogs.
Yes. Tofu puffs.
So I feel like this and the finale, and it got so cinematic. At the end, you guys were on all cylinders. What all you guys created. And can you just talk about? I guess each one of you talk about working on the series and what it was like to work as a family here on Turtles.
How has your experience been working on the Turtles family?
Very broad.
Well, it's been a long time since I remember working on the show because I don't know what happened to the Shredder. I don't know. Actually, I think I kind of do remember, but
He got killed, bro.
Yeah, I guess he did. So it was nice to see him in this episode. It was pretty good, but I enjoyed just watching and working with these guys every day. It was just, it was a non-stop laugh-a-thon with these guys. I mean, there was a joke every 5 seconds, and Andrea had to like hold down the fort and keep us in line. So it was just, it was wonderful and an honor to play the Shredder. So I had a great time with that. So, and Greg Sipes, dude, he just kills me every time. He just makes me laugh. Every line you do, you make me laugh, and I just look at you and I just go,
Yeah, that's me, dude.
I love you. It's a big love fest, honestly. I came into this late, but I've been a lifelong fan of the Turtles since it was a black and white comic book. And it's exciting because Zero loves the characters, the intellectual property as a whole, all the different versions of it. And so getting to come onto a show like this where the designs are so great, the work, all of the art, it's incredible, and then it's so lovingly assembled for people who are learning about it for the first time, as well as people who have loved it the whole time. And nobody really, I don't think anybody exactly understands what Andrea does, but as the voiceover director for all the actors, she's the one responsible for your performance, for your lines making sense, because you record it, you perform it long before any of it's animated. So you don't really have a reference, and she'll say, okay, you're here, you're this way, and it's gotta sound like this, and then you'll do it, she'll be like a little more like this, and you'll say like this, and she'll be like, okay, perfect, and we move on. And so we just do that for years, It's awesome, it's a treat to get to work on this with such experts, and especially on something that I personally love so much. It's true.
At the very beginning...
Mr. Ron, just one question, please. Just one question. How do you feel about the other?
What, 7 years did we work on this series? 7 years.
Yeah, 7 months.
Five seasons, but it took us 7 years.
5 full-blown, full crew production,
Right.
like a year and a half, like previs, like it's been a while.
Long time.
You were one of the first.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
What's so cool is we started off being able to do ensemble records, which you guys know is all the actors in the room at the same time, essentially. And then it kind of fell apart, and we could never get anybody in the room together. And then close to the end, we managed to get a handful of episodes where specifically the Turtles could be together, because it's always fun when the brothers are in the room at the same time, when they can all speak to each other and act and react. And I noticed in some of the scenes, because I think you were out of town for some of the shoot.
It's
when
true.
we were doing this. And so I remember that we had to do a lot of ADR to make things fit and make them sound, because it was months in between recording some of the actors. But in general, it was wonderful to work on the series. Back in '86, when the series was first made, I was offered the job and I couldn't take it because I was the casting director at Hanna-Barbera. And so here, this was kind of the nice round. I managed to get to be a part of Ninja Turtles however many years later. That requires math. I don't know. It was 86, 21 years ago, whatever, 20. Oh! 31 years.
Right, it's only 2003, right guys?
I stopped at 2006 or so. It's all the same.
That was such a mind loop, like when it turned 2010, because when the movie 2010 came out, you thought, oh, that'll never happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a nowist. I love the fact that we got to bring the Turtles now to this generation, because for me, Ninja Turtles was always my favorite cartoon growing up. I had probably 8 to 10 Ninja Turtle birthday parties. Pizza parties, of
I
course.
remember your 18th birthday. That was a good one.
My 18th. Yeah.
Wore masks.
I was.
Chocolate pizza.
That's right. That's right. My 18th birthday party was at the roller skating ring. It was the Ninja Turtle party. And Ninja Turtles got me into martial arts and meditation, and Master Splinter was, he was like a guide for me. And the Turtles were such a positive influence in my life. So it was such a blessing to be a part of the show, to bring it to this next generation. And it's really cool to see. Like, I look at everybody out there, and especially the kids, I'm like, wow, that was me back in the day with the same turtle stoke. And it's because of this amazing team that's come together to do that there's so much turtle love out there. So I love you all, and I love you all. Thanks for coming today.
We cast this show for what felt like well over a year just to find the 4 turtles. And at one point, I know you were definitely Raphael at one point, and then we had hoped that maybe you could get another role, and I think we bantered about the idea of you being Shredder. And I remember I had a dialogue with you where you're like, oh, I didn't get the role again. And then we're like, oh, we'll find something. And we made Tiger Claw, who ended up being like, to me, every iteration of Turtles gives something to the whole franchise, right? And I think looking back on this one of the biggest things, if not like top 3 probably, is Tiger Claw, like the greatest thing. And that was you.
I think, well, thank you guys. Thank you for allowing me to
You weren't
play
in this episode, but you are, like, this is one of all things Turtle. Tiger Claw is awesome.
I just sort of left the show as kind of a good guy, I guess.
Kind of. I mean, I had
What did you have in mind?
I had hoped that, you know, if I was to do anything else at Nick related to this, I would do a Tiger Claw series.
Wow.
Where he's kind of like, you know, the man who wanders, and more of a Ronin, and like a Boba Fett type that, you know, it's maybe about money or sometimes about virtue. I don't know.
I mean, I've been a fan of yours since forever. I don't know if you know Riker's T-shirt, actually Teen Titans. A Teen Titans shirt.
That's how I met Sipes. That was both of our first. That was my first directing job and your first EO job, I think, in LA.
And Mama Andrea, she cast me in my first job ever as Beast Boy. And she fought for me to get the role.
But, you know, as an actor, I think it's always fun to imagine you slipping into an iconic role, like any one of the Turtles, Shredder, Rocksteady, Bebop. But to come out with a character that I hope 60 remakes from now of Turtles, there's going to be 60 different Tiger Claws out there.
We joked about, like, what's the us sitting in a theater and watching this disgusting Michael Bay version of you?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like we took your character and drowned it with Axe body spray.
You don't mention Michael Bay.
That's every Michael Bay character. He's there. He's got a knife to my tires. But no, seriously, I'm just thankful to be have been invited to the party with you guys, and it's been amazing. And yes, I feel like it's too bad. I know San Diego was our last public event, but I feel like this is kind of a cooler, more intimate, like the real fans are here, you know? Yeah.
Grant is, I went to college with Grant. And Grant is, every time I try to have some sort of control or say on a show, I try to have Grant in that show. And this was like the pinnacle of that so far. So thank you.
But I think that's my favorite thing I got to be involved in, because one, it's Frankenstein. Who doesn't want to be Frankenstein? No one doesn't want to be Frankenstein.
You and De Niro.
Yeah.
And the guy called.
And I didn't know I could do 3 voices back to back to back, but when Andrea Romano asked you to do it, then you're just like, all right, just hurry up and do it. You must say this now. No, I can't. You must do it. You must do it, or Andrea would be depressed. None of us should be mad at you. So you went back and forth like that.
What was the most dramatic, gripping, or emotional episode that you've done of the whole series?
Exactly. For me, it's easy because we did the episode where Splinter died, and it was horrible. We were all, I didn't know it when I came in to record it, and that was spoiler alert. But you had, because the moment's so emotional, we all had to actually get there, and then you're in that space, and only because we all actually care about each other and are sort of protective and respectful and supportive of each other, that it felt safe to go to that place when we were making it. But that was hard, man. That hurt.
For me too, that same episode, and because we all love Hoon Lee, the actor who played Splinter, and the idea that he wasn't going to be a part of the show anymore made us all so sad that it was kind of easy for us all to get to that kind of emotional place we had to, and I like the more emotional episodes, I do. Good girl.
I would have to say the Turtle Armageddon. Is that the name of the? Is that the name of? Well, the three. Yeah, after the bomb, the Turtle Armageddon. Those last episodes where the turtles get old, and that moment at the end of the last one when all the turtles are with Splinter, the pitcher.
Yeah.
At the end, and we kind of wound up in paradise. So that was really touching, and it was fun to play like another version of the turtles, the older version. Crazy Mike, oh Mikey, yeah. Kind of based on Alejandro Jodorowsky. Nice.
I guess for me it was probably the death of Splinter too. And it was weird because when I finish a show, there's basically a period of a week and a half where every other day I have to do another step to the whole show, and it was like. It was gut-wrenching because then I would hear the music and then I would hear the sound effects, and every single time it was like like you cried a little bit, and it was pretty rough.
Who came up with that idea?
Which one?
To kill Splinter.
Yeah, I think we had always. That was the whole end game from day one.
That was the end game.
Yeah, that was you couldn't live by the sword without dying by the sword. Wow. You know, that we always wanted that. Everybody so. I originally had pitched the show, don't get all upset, but because you would have watched the show and there never would have been a Splinter, but the idea was that the turtles come into light because after the event of Splinter dying, they decide to come out of the sewers because they no longer have a father, and in no sense it's like they've graduated or they start that hero's journey. And they get this emotional replacement in meeting April, the first human. But there would have been flashbacks through the whole series where Splinter would have been present throughout, but he was never in the moment present. So, but the network thought I was insane to do that. So,
I'm curious, and this is embarrassing, but has Splinter died in other earlier versions of Turtles, like in the 80s or?
Not that I know of. I mean, in the 2K3 show, I don't think he did.
Well, he lives forever in us. He lives forever.
Yeah.
Love never dies.
Yeah. He's like that blue ghost Yoda.
That's right.
There was, that moment when I found out, I even was when Shredder actually had to take him out, I was personally upset about it. Because I was like, really? I mean...
It was you!
No, it was a Shredder! Yeah, kind of thing. But
now you all been looking for it.
I felt pretty bad. I was like, wow, this guy's really evil to do that. I mean, I know he had a vendetta, but I'm like, really? I mean, kill the guy? So, I mean, it can't get any pretty much worse than that. But that I took personally. I felt a little emotional about that. But it was an honor, yet emotional at the same time, to play the voice of James Avery's original Shredder, to bring that back. So
James Avery, Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. James Avery. He was Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince.
Uncle Phil.
He was he was amazing. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Got to meet him, work with him, kind man, and sorry to hear that the man had passed. And so to play that role was actually just very cool. With the original cast as well.
Back to a sentimental moment, though. I really think the Ice Cream Kitty music video was actually very sentimental and touching too. Because I love animals so much, and it was based on, the cat. Ice Cream Kitty, I always think of Ciro's kitties, who both moved on in the last couple years, but they were part of the series in a big way, Yeah, so Ice Cream Kitty is like Poe and Cocoa Puff. Yeah! I scream, you scream, we all scream for Kitty.
I remember it was a crazy time when I started the show because it was like, it was me alone in an office and they would say, hey, you have a director and then, hey, April, and then one day they came to me, they're like, can we do all the turtles? And I said, sure, and they said, tomorrow. And I said, okay. And then I stayed up all night and did all that.
Because I always would.
Because you can't, you go like, if you think about it at all, you'll freeze. So you just have to do what you want and hand it in.
Yeah, it's because I would always joke and I would say, if I ever get the chance to meet someone who made Mikey's design, I would thank them for giving him freckles. So this is the only time I can do it. So yeah, thank you. It's so cute.
Those freckles are mine.
Thank you. Well, let's give it up for Riker's ADR work right here. Right there.
Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his flannel already.
Sure, didn't you say Mikey's eyes were my eyes? Yeah.
What were some of your favorite special guests, like David Tennant or any stories like that?
David Tennant.
Okay.
David Tennant was fabulous. How very cool to get to work with him. My goodness. And you know, we did how many episodes with David? Do you remember how many episodes had? 16 episodes, and the man was never in the room with us at the same time. He was always in New York or London, and we were in Los Angeles. But it was as if he were right on the other side of the glass. He was so fast and so good and understood. And written on the script, it would say his line of dialogue, and then it would say, in parentheses, beep, bloop. And I didn't know whether the plan was actually to make those be sound effects, but he actually would record the line, we've got to go this way, beep, bloop. Oh, we have to use that. We absolutely have to use that. It's so good. I mean, he was totally game to play with us. I love that.
It was kind of amazing to have all of the original Turtles come in and play Turtles on the show. We got to meet them. And you know, Rob Paulsen he was Raph originally, right? So Rob Paulsen, who played Raph on the 80s series, now plays Donatello on this series. He is a literal living legend. Couldn't be cooler to work with. So every day was kind of a gift. Any guest stars you loved?
Was it Roseanne Barr? I didn't say I love her.
More facts from
We're gonna need another take, Candace. She played Prime Crane. Oh, Gilbert Godfrey. There were so many good guest stars. Elvira, Robert Englund.
Chris Sarandon's Dracula.
Yeah, Robbie Rez.
Yeah, in this show actually, it was funny because someone said to me, "Oh, it's so awesome you got the voice of Jack Skellington to be Dracula," and I went, "What?" Like, actually, he's the voice of Dracula in Fright Night. That's why it didn't occur to me that Chris Sarandon had played Jack Skellington. I didn't see it. And there's like, that's that age gap. I mean, I was in college when that movie came out, and I think it's a good movie, but to me, I was like in love with Fright Night, and if I could cast him again as Dracula, it was cool. Are you small in scale, or like your resume isn't built up?
Practice, don't quit, don't imitate, and focus. This is your advice. Always focus on acting. Don't focus on a funny voice. Don't focus on whatever the persona is, because that's not what sells it. It's acting. It's like being able to commit to a character and relate to it, right?
Yeah, take acting classes, and then take voiceover classes. So acting first, because that's always what we look for first, is good actors. And then if people can do voices on top of that, that's gravy. But a lot of actors just act with their voices, their own voices. They don't have to do character voices. But if you can do multiple voices, that's great too. So acting classes first, and then voiceover classes.
And get involved in like plays, you know, school plays if you can sing. There are glee clubs, sing if you can. You know, just get involved in as much as the theater program as you can. And the key is to have fun. Just have a lot of fun doing it too. Don't, you know, get your tape recorder, you know, a tape recorder. I'm old.
Back in my day.
Anyway,
And also your dad record us for the VHSs and the Betamax. You reel to reel the two tape decks, and then you can make a recording.
Well, I forgot about that. It was sure. Anyway, sweetie, take your iPhone and then press record and just play with different characters. Have fun. You know, just list them all down. Just have fun. And you can incorporate that on stage as well as behind the mic or whatever. Just get involved in any type of the show, any type of show business as far as, well, I don't want to say any type, that's kind of general, but get involved in plays, shows, audition, have fun, in school, whatever productions they're having. If you want, if it interests you, join in, have fun.
There's a lot of animation schools in this city that actually, like a lot of the students in their third year of school, they need voices for free. And you can offer yourself, volunteer your voice for some of these movies that they have to make. Anyways, so that's he's coughing on the mic.
I just want to say that I recorded Eric on an episode of Turtles as Tiger Paw with Riker in my lap, just like this. I actually directed with the kid on my lap, and he's obviously sort of reliving that moment right now.
I would say, if you want to be a voice actor, play with voices, and there's so many apps now that you can get apps and make your own little cartoons. It's very easy to put your voice and make your own little characters with all these different apps and just mess around. Like, you never know when the voice that you were just messing around with years ago could be a voice you use in a cartoon years later. Like, Kevin Michael Richardson, I do my best version of Kevin.
Hey man, how you doing, man? You just gotta go to school. You gotta get into a play.
Do I sound like
Yeah, for real.
But now I use that voice. I get to use that voice. And play.
Come on, Greg. You know that he doesn't sound like that, bro.
Hey man, for real.
You sound like that, bro.
Kevin never sounds like that. I spent a lot of time with Kevin. Kevin's a great guy. He's really special. Got a lot of light coming off of this guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but he's really,
Oh, yo, Kev. I was at the spa one time at Cyclone.
No, you keep doing the talking and I'll show you what I think I sound like coming from you. Go ahead, ready?
Yes, I was at the spa one time. And I was sitting there by the locker room, and I was changing my clothes, and somebody comes up behind me and goes, "Hey!" and hits me in the butt with a towel. And then I turn around and I'm like, "What's going on?" And it was Sykes.
So this is what work looks like for us.
The best part, Kev, was that you took the mic for that.
That just sounds to me like a Humpty Dance.
I love the Humpty Dance, do the chant.
But no, play with voices.
You see what we're doing up here?
And when I cast these guys, like when I was casting the Turtles, if you were coming in, I was specifically looking for style that just sounded like themselves. That like just so they could focus on acting. Like there's a lot of people that come in and be like, "Hey, I'm from Brooklyn." And I was like, "No."
The more you bring yourself to the role.
Because then you can give them direction and they're not tripping over a hood on each other. You can do that if you're really good. But start with the master. Right. So.
I'm also a small voice actor, like yourself. And what I would say is never give up, because I've been grinding, and I get to be here tonight and do this. And the other thing I say is be cool, because there's not one voice actor I think that's a jerk, because you are out, because no one wants to work with a jerk. So this guy right here, I did a Super Friends with once, and for no reason at all other than he's a great guy, he cut my reel. And then last year he introduced me to my agent. So these kind of people are like the greatest people. So just be cool.
That is really great advice, though. Never quit. Work hard and be nice to people.
I felt that like the most important thing since day one was the sense of family, and that at the end I just wanted to make sure that that family came back together, that would survive any kind of odds. And I know a lot of people were really upset because basically they're thinking that I negated a lot, but there's still a lot in between that can happen. And I always like the idea of what would happen after that story too. Like they would almost in a way go back to who they were. And I know people are upset because Karai never got to kiss Leo on screen. And it's like, You can write your own stories about that. That's like really weird.
There's lots of fiction, and I've seen several images on DeviantArt.
I know. There's turtles kissing each other. It's interesting. But to me, that's, yeah. I mean, it really, it also kind of felt like I was trying to tell a story that was a little bit bigger than what's at play on the screen. It was about just being in the moment, and you can't really worry about anything else. And in the end, like, you just care about your brothers, and they came together in the end. And they kind of live forever, like in the whole idea of turtles never die, and they just mutate, you know. But I have stories after that, and between it. There's lots of potential karate kissing, if you like.
Right over there.
I really love that big crossover, you know, getting to meet the old turtles. I know I keep going back to that, but that was such a cool, it was so cool.
I really like the one where you get thrown through the window, which was like, it was in season 2 at the end. It was basically the Leo one-shot story that was an original Mirage story that was a little awkward. And it was supposed to be on Christmas, and they're like, where's Leo? And Leo gets thrown through, and they burn down April's apartment, and then they have to run to Northampton after that. And then you appeared out of that.
It's true.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, because I've done a lot of voiceover throughout my entire career, and this is one of the hardest voiceover jobs I've ever had to do, just because of the sheer volume of running, jumping, fighting, reacting. Things you would never think about. But every time the turtles move, we're in the booth going, see, yeah, and then it's Andre's like, I need a bass to your fall, like ooh, like an impact, like a ooh, like that. And then put a B on the front of it, like ugh. You can just do that for hours, for months, for years. And then I remember because I was in Thailand doing we're doing a remote record. I was doing ADR from a location because technology is so amazing. And I'm in this tiny booth in this small studio in Thailand where they've got a strong enough phone and digital connection that we can talk to each other in LA. And Andre's in my ear just going, yeah, just like a bigger, like a higher, like that. That was insane.
I was very fortunate that Nickelodeon was very kind and arranged for a special screening for me to watch the last 3 episodes of the series, which was that Armageddon thing. And as I finished watching, I thought, now I know the title of my autobiography. So many oofs. We recorded 12 hours of fight Walla for that 3 episodes.
I mean, it's basically cardio.
It really
I mean, that last show was like 5 or 6 minutes of rap wrestling Leo. And like, for me, it's actually painful to watch. Like, I watched it in the big screen with defense one day, and I finished it, and I just had sweaty palms. I'm like, what the heck did I make? It was very dramatic.
It's always disturbing to watch those episodes before all that ADR though, because it just feels empty. You feel that you see the characters swinging or flailing. You realize how much sound helps everything.
My favorite episode was called Mikey's Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got to play all these different versions of Mikey.
I liked Fat Mikey.
Oh, really?
It was Baby Mikey, Chubby Mikey, Overeating Mikey.
The episode where we see Splinter tell us about how the turtles became, he's telling to the young turtles how he found them and whatnot. That was a great story.
That was
I love that. What was that called?
Lone Rat and Cubs, I guess?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Remember that one? That sweet one.
They made great toys for
back
it.
seasons, the names all blur together for me. I know the numbers. I'll go like, oh, my favorite one was 122. That's just like, you got a 122 meeting. That's how you remember them.
Zero, can you talk a bit about your crew and your directors and storyboard artists and the sound designers for this? Because this show has some of the best sound design out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of them are here. I felt like the best designers that worked on this show. And what the designers had to do was basically, because this is a 3D production, they had to basically draw something in basically what's called an orthographic view. So you almost imagine it turning like Lord Daddy and Blade Runner, like and which is a hard thing to kind of do and make it look good from every angle, especially the sets. So they were amazing. I feel like my story crew, the storyboard artists, were like the true heroes of the storytelling in this show. Those guys are hard as nails. I know there was a sequence in here that's especially scary where Mikey's running through halls and he falls into a pit of skulls. I think that was Nikki. She's probably here. Are you here, Nikki? Yeah, I mean, it's like so many things where you're like, they watch so much anime, and I'm glad because I don't have to watch it. I can just tell them when they do it too much. But the directors are amazing, and then the sound guys are just like, I mean, who's here director-wise? Rie, you're here. Does Sebastian make it? And Dingo. But, you know, the director has this hard job, basically, because, like, a director in animation is basically kind of like the keeper of the story and the story department and the storyboard artist. So the problem is, on a show like this with so many moving parts, I'm constantly moving from room to room or meeting to meeting, and I'll say something, and it really, a lot of times the director has to be the one to remember that and translate that down to a bunch of other people. Sometimes even the designers. So the directors were amazing on this show, and they were really kind of like, they would just clean up my mess and fix all the boards when it wouldn't work. But sometimes in Rie's case, Rie was amazing because she's an incredible draftsman and quick. So some of these shows had to be re-storyboarded as much as 75%. Because the storytelling in the first pass never worked, so we would remake these shows a couple times, and the director usually assumes a lot of that work. Sorry. And then but the sound at the end was always my favorite, because for me, sound design, I would sit down with Jeff Shipman, who's here, and he was and I would just tell him what I was thinking, or he would just say, all right, what's new? And I'd say, well, there's a car, and it's probably 1970, and he would look for that. But then, I mean, that's such a simplified way of talking about what his job is, because there would be 800 layers, I think, of sound sometimes, across a whole 22-minute show. 800 layers that you're juggling of what you need to. Every little thing needs to be built by hand. It's not like we would do digital Foley, so a lot of those, the turtles have little leather, like wrenching, or like even they have like leather, like when they smile, you drive. I mean, they're hand cutting all this stuff. It's digital, but it's being hand cut, and then in the mix, deciding what gets heard and what doesn't, how much ADR we need and what doesn't go. It's just unbelievable. The sound guys really made this show take this fourth dimension. And it was great for me because I would show up and be like, there was a whole other department of people that I had just come in and approve, and I wouldn't sit there and toil and wrestle with every detail like I would on some of the other stuff. So it was really gratifying for me. It was almost like I was seeing it like the audience. It was really fun. And the music was the same. But Sebastian, who's my composer, was someone that I've worked with since the early 2000s. He did all the music for me on a show called Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
Yeah! When the mutant bomb goes off, you know how old the turtles were? Where does that take place?
If it was up to me, they'd be around 21. And I had all these stuff. What happened was I had originally pitched the movie at Nick. When Turtles, once they canceled Turtles, it wasn't my choice to end the show. A lot of people think it's my choice to end the show, and then they say, oh, and it's your fault that you selfishly killed them because you knew from day one how many you wanted to make. It doesn't work that way. I would never choose to not want to be able to pay my rent. So I had pitched the movie, because I desperately wanted to keep my crew. And the movie was about the remains of Crank Prime under the Hudson and how it mixed with the life that was in the bacteria and the plankton, and it came back to shore, and it was this sentient sludge Crank. And it became a character called Crank Primordius. And at that point, Turtles were already done. They had saved the world, and they had gone back into hiding. So they were they weren't teams anymore. And I'm not going to tell you the rest, so hopefully I might still be able to make some of this.
He would put his heart, his whole soul, his blood, his whole life, all his time into the show, and it shows up. And I'm just starting to get into producing my own animation now. I'm starting to see the ins and outs of it, not just from as a voice actor. And I know you know the ins and outs of it. Seth, he creates a lot of animation, and it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of people. But this is something I can't even fathom how you make it so amazing with there's a billion dimensions going on.
Yeah, well, I had a lot of help. I mean, I could tell a lot of people stuff, and at the end of the day, it was like a spoiled kid in a candy store, like, you know. But I had a lot of talented people, like, I mean, there was a shot in there that it kind of upsets me. I wish I could re-edit this now. It was a shot that I had my friend Jack draw for like days, and then I had Nico paint it for like another couple days. And it's on screen for like 36 seconds, 36 frames. And it's like, why did I do that for? Because it's awesome. And because kids have DVRs and they're gonna freeze frame it and they're gonna put it all over like forums.
Yeah, and in those few seconds,
everybody
everybody says, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's worth it.
So you don't get to do that all the time on these shows, Seth, you know. But when you can, and because it was Turtles and it was Nick and they came hard, they gave me 100 people, and I had 100 people meddling for 8 hours at least a day, sometimes 16, for 8 years.
Hundreds of people.
100 in Burbank.
And hundreds overseas.
Yeah, about 400 overseas.
Yeah, so much magic and time and energy and soul power goes into this. And if you take a freeze frame of what happened of our show, I would say, not just because I'm in it, but this was the best Turtles and maybe the best Turtles there ever will be as far as incarnations of the show. What do y'all think?